All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. So, obviously, very volatile day. We're breaking down from our massive consolidation structure, our range we've had for the last 2 months. We're starting to break down from it. Yeah, it's not looking great, guys. Not gonna lie. So, overall, I think a lot of our bullishness has to be checked on here. So for starters, we no longer have our three strike pattern, the one I was looking for over here on how we had this. Let's see how we had this capitulation candle. We had the wick below it, the deviation. Then we had a retest, right? However, we have now broken back below that retest, so now we no longer have this higher low like I was hoping for. Also, for the Wyckoff accumulation schematic number 1, it showed a spring, a retest, and then a higher low. We no longer have that higher low either. So those two things don't look great. Now, furthermore, we also have invalidated quite a bit of our bullish divergences that I had formed. This lower low actually has lower low on the RSI. So that doesn't look good either. So overall, our bullish case is really pretty screwed right now. I'm not gonna lie on that, man. It doesn't really look great. So at this point, we got to look for other targets. So I don't think we're going to continue right up from here. I think we're going to have some more downside. Now, the downside, where are we looking at? Well, it gets really, really complicated here. So first off, you got to zoom out to the big picture. On the big picture, we're already dropped a lot. Okay, make that very clear. And we haven't had anything that resembles a decent recovery bounce. So because of that, it's not unrealistic for us. Although the high time frame looks pretty bearish right now, we did get the weekly close below our key level at 32,000. So we did get our weekly close below there. So overall, it looks to me like we have officially lost this as our major support level. So now we're looking for a new support, and well, if you don't look right here, there's not much support below us on breaker levels in the weekly. Now, if you go to the 3-day, you do see that we do have some support levels over here at 23,000. And if you go to the daily, if I remember correctly, you do have another level right here at 26,000. So those are major levels, and we still have not lost the 28.25 level. So this key wick right here, and also the yearly open still exists. So there is still some support here, but make it very clear, like we have lost a very major level. And all of our falling wedges, all of our bullish signs we've been looking at, quite a few of them have been invalidated at this time. So overall, it doesn't look great. But like I was saying with the high time frame, though, you have to also take consideration. We have dropped really far from 65,000 down to our current level of 29,000 without any sort of retracement. Like this, we have not had a decent retracement, and it's very common to get at the bare minimum a dead cat bounce, and on a dead cat bounce, you're expecting to get at the bare minimum a 382 retracement. Okay, 236, 382 retracement, somewhere like that, which basically would get us, if we bounce from this level, we would get up to about $42,000, which is around where I'm expecting us to bounce to, because we do have the 200 moving average around that level. So I would not be surprised if we did get a dead cat bounce in this area, or really soon, up to the 42 to 45,000 region, in which case I will be selling off quite a bit of my position, because at this point the market's not showing us strength right now, and we need to be very cautious in our current situation. So that's where I'm at right now. So high time frame targets. Let's go to Bitcoin real quick again. I want to go show this. High time frame targets. I think I've already mentioned how we have this. We have the level at 26,000, a level at 24,000, and if I remember correctly, we also have a CME gap in that area as well. Give me 1 second. I'm on my mobile, so bear with me, guys. Yeah, we have a CME gap right here at 24 to 26,000. So because we have the CME gap, because that normally does provide some sort of resistance level, or at least like it likes to close that level up, I would not be surprised if we do drop down there and close that gap. And realistically, that's the only gap that we have left to the downside. So it would not surprise me to come down here, close that gap, and continue back up. Now, Fibonacci levels, which are definitely something you want to be looking at this point. Fibonacci levels line up almost exactly with our CME gap. So the 618 lines up damn near exactly. So I think it dropped down to 25,000. I think it's likely at this point, which I know it sounds scary, but here's the thing, guys. Like, that's really not that far away from this point, right? Like, I posted on Twitter yesterday or 2 days ago. Let me find it real quick. I posted on Twitter. Yeah, right here. I'm going to hold my spot because I don't think we have to dip that far down. If we do break down, generally no more than 20% is my guess across all coins. And at this point, it's around 30,000. So my assumption is 30,000 will drop from 31 down to like 25,000. That's my assumption here. So 20% drop, is that really that big of a deal when we've already lost well more than half? You know what I mean? Like, realistically, guys, like I'm okay with holding for a dead cat bounce because we're gonna get one. That's not really that much of a question whether we're gonna get one. It's just when, right? When is it gonna come? Because there are these late shorters that are jumping in here. There's still the negative funding. There's still, like, at some point there's going to be a dead cat bounce. Like, if you go back to any Bitcoin or any chart that we've ever had, there's always a recovery bounce. Now, like look at this, guys. Like, we do have recovery bounces, but we haven't had any decent bounces. Like, you guys see how it dropped all the way down to 6,000 and it bounced all the way up to like 13,000, right? It doubled in price. We have not had anything like that at all. Even when it came down here again, guess what? It still jumped up here to 10,000. We have had just a massive collapse with no sort of bounce whatsoever. This is unusual, right? Like, there's too much. It's too aggressive on the downtrend to at least get some sort of recovery bounce. So, yeah, even on this drop right here, we still came up and retested it. Like, guys, like I know this looks like shit, and don't get me wrong, it does. Okay. The thing is, though, we have had no recovery whatsoever, and it is not uncommon or unlikely for us to bounce up to like the 42 to 45,000 region. And that would make a lot of sense as well, because if you go back to the technical chart, on the Bitcoin CME futures chart, we do have this massive gap from, 45 up. We have this massive gap right here, right? So that has not been filled. We have this gap down here, so I would not be surprised to come down here, hit the 25,000 region, come up here, retest and cover this gap. And then from there, who knows? Honestly, who knows at that point? Could this be the bottom right here? Possibly, right? Because it is a 0.618 Fibonacci or a golden ratio retracement, which is very, very healthy. So despite the fact that it obviously is terrifying right now, the point is that's still not an unhealthy drop. It really isn't. And we're really not that far away from that massive, massive golden pocket region. So, it's close enough. It goes a little bit lower because the futures market didn't drop as far as the rest of the market. But just understand, like, this is a round where I'm expecting some sort of a massive retracement. And like you guys can see on the big picture wise, we're really close. All right, like, I get it, right? It's a scary drop. I understand that. But we're already in this far. Like, at this point, you got to keep holding. Like, I don't have an option, right? You knew what you want, obviously, but I'm going to do that. And whenever it does bounce, the rest of the market's going to bounce with it, right? So all of our alts are getting absolutely wrecked right now, right? And I know this. They're getting absolutely destroyed right now. But it will recover to a certain extent. We will get some sort of a bounce. So Bitcoin dominance chart is accelerating the upside a little bit. However, if you go back, you can see this still looks like some sort of a corrective structure. This doesn't look like a impulsive movement off like we had this impulsive movement down. This was an impulsive movement. You guys see how aggressive it dropped. This is a corrective structure. So usually corrective structures after an impulse result in another corrective structure down, which buys into my thought process that we are going to have further downside on the Bitcoin dominance, which means our alts will actually recover very strongly. I still do believe that. We do have this major weekly resistance level over here, and it's not that far away, 50%, it's 3% away from our current levels, which is going to hurt. Make that very clear. I've basically turned off my portfolio tracker, and I'm just chilling at this point because like I'm already in this point where it's like it doesn't make sense for me to sell at this point, so I'm just going to sit here and ride it out and embrace the suck, right? It will get some sort of a bounce, guys. Don't be too concerned. It's going to suck. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not too concerned yet. What else? Yeah, on the other charts, that's where I'm at. I'm in a lot of coins. Like I'm heavy in coins that I don't think have that much downside right now. Like right now, I think XRP does not have that much downside remaining. I also think that HBAR doesn't have that much downside remaining. Ethereum, I don't know, guys. There's a lot of empty space below us, so that's concerning. EOS, there's actually something really interesting I've noticed. You guys can see how we basically are back to our major support levels. So like EOS, in my opinion, does not have that much further to drop. It doesn't, because we're already back in this major, already accepted price levels. Like realistically, I don't see us dropping any lower than like what, $2.60, like maybe. So like my three largest holdings, XRP, HBAR, and EOS, are already back at their entries essentially. So this is a place I'd be looking to increase my position. Definitely not. Yeah, like we're back at our major accepted levels already. Like I'm not really interested in trying to. I'm not really interested in selling this position, guys. I just can't. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to hold on to it. If it's a wrong decision, it's a wrong decision. But overall, guys, like, yeah, overall, maybe I'm denial or whatever. You want to call it what it is. I mean, obviously, the best place to sell was over there at freaking $65,000. But we didn't do it. So here we are. Oh, another thing I want to talk about real quick. Total Tooch chart. I mentioned this multiple times, and let's talk about this. So we have this major 2-week level right here. And you guys can see how obvious of a level it is, right? It's around the $1 trillion mark, and we're currently at 1.18 trillion. So that means 20% drop, we go into our major weekly breaker, a major 2-week breaker, and it's also the golden ratio region for the entire total market. That is a perfect buy opportunity in my opinion. I'm really, really excited because I definitely am getting some extra capital available so that I can buy this dip. Because I really, really, really do want to buy in this area. And this is like a total market cap, so I will be throwing my money into all sorts of random stuff. Anything and everything I can get dirt cheap. Like right now, I think Link is super, super cheap. I think DOT is super, super cheap. That being said, don't think that it doesn't have further to drop. Make that very clear. What I'm saying, though, is in the long term, looking back like a year from now, I'm going to get some incredible entries right here at this golden pocket region for a lot of these coins that are absolutely well below what their price should be. So XRP, EOS, HBAR, DOT, all of those coins that I've been sitting on, like that I've already have quite a bit of, but now I'm going to be getting an extra opportunity to buy at an extra cheap price that I think in the next year or so is going to be worth tremendously more than its current value. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I really am. So yeah. Trying to think what else. That's basically all I had to talk about in this video. Yeah, market looks like absolute garbage. A lot of our bullishness has been invalidated on the actual range portion of it. But you have to remember the high time frame. We still have a lot of support levels in here, even if they're invisible supports like the Fibonacci levels, which you can't see them, but they still exist. So, and obviously the high time frame levels, could we come into a retest of the previous all-time high? Yes, it's possible. However, you also have to consider we have never, ever retested the previous all-time high in a bull market. We never have. So if you assume that we are still in a bull market, which I still venture to believe based upon a lot of Elliott Wave things and other things of that nature, the overall market structure ways that, guys, it doesn't really, I think that the 20,000 region will be like the 1.8K region that they talked about in 2017, 2018, right? Everyone was going for 1.8K. That was like the region everyone wanted to get the retest and get their bids in at. That was the perfect buy opportunity. Well, we only got down to $3,200 and then it retraced back up, right? I have a feeling that this 20,000 region, which is like the perfect buy opportunity, won't actually get reached. I think that it's going to be like the 1.8K region in 2018, where everyone's waiting on the sidelines for that region to come, and it just never gets there. And then they're stuck buying at a higher price and accelerating the price back upwards. So that's my assumption, guys. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the market, so just be careful. Obviously, you guys already know my plan. It sucks. It is what it is. But I'm not, it's not like, I think it's going to be sucky for the next like week or so, and then we're going to have probably some mass capitulation candle, reversal, and then continue back up. That's my assumption. So it's going to get violent. It's going to get bloody. Fortunately, I don't really play leverage, so I'm just going to hold my spot positions. If you are in leverage, I'd be extremely careful. Yeah, there you go. So that's what I got. Well, as always, guys, have questions, let me know.